Good morning again. Yes, this is Spirit Journey, and this is a second video. Yes, it's Thursday, September 3, 2020, and the time right now is 9:12 a.m. Yeah, I just completed that video on the thing about reality and the salespeople and all that. Yeah, it's trying to upload now. And as I was going over it in my head about the scientists that I discussed, and this scientist who's studying string theory and other stuff, and my question about him, what I didn't specify, he called himself a beach bum. He had this is a guy from the a white guy from the mainland, U.S. mainland, and then he moves to the island of Maui, and he wanted to study for his postdoctorate uh, these theories and looking for work. And my amazement, okay, so to get a PhD costs a lot of money in the mainland. And what I wanted to talk about here now, in the video, this science video, I mean, it's a nice video, but my amazement about, okay, he mentions that he didn't agree with certain things about what they wanted to focus on with this string theory. You know, uh, he studied theory. I forget the term, but in physics, there's the theory that many of them study, theoretical physics. Yeah, and so he didn't. He said he couldn't get into it. He said I decided to. He said he decided to become a beach bum in the process. And a beach bum basically is a person, usually a white male, and the illusion of them being jobless, just living off air, and surf all day. They surf, eat, sleep, surf, eat, sleep. That's basically what a beach bum is. Interesting in the on the East Coast, someone who just eats, sleeps, and sits down, or just they call that loitering, and you can get there are a lot of people in New York City that just eat, sleep, and you're just there, you know, and it's not glamorous, and you have a lot of black people on the street who somebody just eat, sleep, and pander, beg for money. But somehow this had, in Hawaii, the beach bum phenomenon is a culture in itself. They're catered to. They have somehow they have money for what do you call it? A surfboard. Yeah, they love surfing. Their hair's messy. They have this wild look, and it could be really interesting to look at for an outsider. But it's like a whole culture, and it's considered accepted. And you have businesses that cater to surfers, usually white males that do this. And they have like a network. Some of them go from island to island to just what they call ride the waves. Ride the waves. They might go to even Australia. They have beaches in Australia. Some go to different locations in the Pacific, or they even go to the Caribbean. Now, I used to also live in the Caribbean, in the U.S. Virgin Islands of St. Thomas. Now, there, okay, it's tropical and you have beaches, but the beach bum phenomenal there, at least. I'm just thinking back. No, I have not seen that culture. It is a tourist, the beaches, a lot of tourists go there, but they don't have, at least I don't remember seeing, uh, like they have beaches in St. Thomas. I think it was Megan's Bay was the beach, the main beach that a lot of the white tourists go to, and that one you have to pay to get in. I remember, yeah. It wasn't astronomically high. It wasn't, it was a fair price. But I thought other beaches looked nicer, actually. I personally like Koki Point. I think I like Koki Point because you can see through the water. You can see your toes, and the water is calm, 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 like a pool. And you could go far out into the ocean and it still be low on your body. While like Megan's Bay, that water is kind of rough. Yeah, kind of rough. And so if you're not a good swimmer or can't swim at all, and that could be a little challenging. But I don't even remember seeing surfers out there in Megan's Bay. Yeah. So getting back to this beach bum phenomenon. Now they even have what they call the Beach Boys, which is also, it was a group that was very popular, I think in the 1960s or 70s, or even 50s, around that era. They were extremely popular, and it was a culture unto itself of this, in general, young white men. Some of them are older, and their thing is riding the waves, surfing, every moment of their lives. And I mean, I don't surf. I'm not a water person. I love looking at water, but I'm not physical in water. That's just me. But you have many people who their passion, and I don't have that type of passion. So I'm amazed about what makes people have a passion for something like that. And I'm amazed about that how in their culture, primarily these are white men, they're young, they could be a whole, a broad spectrum of ages. It could be in their teens, all the way like in their 70s. And it's accepted behavior, it's accepted lifestyle to just sit out there all day, and how they maintain themselves. See, this is part of an illusion that I want to explore. How do these people make a living? Now, some people have a low overhead. I gather these people, that they broke away from mainstream and created a new stream for themselves to enjoy. I could only speculate that many of these people come from affluent homes, and they may get an allowance, or like they have a trust fund, and they're living off of the trust fund, and so they break away from their families, move to Hawaii. A lot of people that go there, who I've talked to, you'll hear the term like that they came there to heal spiritually. It's like a spiritual component to it. You hear that a lot, and they're running away from something, and so they're going there for the interim to unwind. That's a place where people unwind, they're not into dressing up. That's another thing. Yeah, when I lived there, I mean, I wore a simple black dress that I only paid $1.99 for, and someone thought that what I was wearing was dressy. It was the plainest, plain, New York style. I was a plain Jane, plain. It was a sleeveless dress with two little pockets up front, really girly, and a little belt around the waist. It came above the knee. It was made out of like a velvet, a soft velvet fabric. The cheapest thing dress you can get. And they thought I was dressy and gave me a judgment call as a result of wearing it. It was really interesting. Again, this is about perception. Just like I have perceptions about others, and others also have perceptions about me. It goes both ways. And that's also what I learned about Hawaii. Perception that who I was. Perception that because I was wearing that cheap dress and they thought it was dressy, and I had a little necklace on my neck, and the necklace I won. I did retail, and I won the thing like they have like your name in a container, and it's to boost morale, and so they would encourage people if you make a X number of sales, your name will be put in this pile of other names, and your name might be picked. And one day my name was picked, and I won a cute little necklace, a wineland necklace. It was a little dolphin. It had a little diamond in for the eye. It was cute, and it was the pendant, and I bought like a chain for it so I can wear it. And so I wore the thing that I won and this cheap dress. And I was looking, I had worked 2 jobs, and I actually was trying to get a 3rd job. And I had lost all, I had lost all 2. And then this, I had to go to the Department of Labor to look for work, and I was explaining to them about that I wasn't able to commute because I get panic attacks, and I cannot drive from this one location to another. It triggers a panic attack, and I explained to them I was a veteran and all that. Everything I was saying was true. And she was very mean to me. And then when I told her, she said something. It was a judgment call. I said, "Hey, wait a minute." And I think I might have attributed to what I'm wearing. I said, "Look, this." She's saying something about money. I said, "Wait a minute." I said, "The necklace." I said, "I am not a rich person. The necklace you see me wearing, I won the necklace at my job that I lost. I won a little lot, a prize. It was a prize to me. It's not something I paid for. And this dress cost me only $1.99. It's a cheap dress. And I had worked 2 jobs, and I lost them. Then I had gotten 2 new jobs, and that I lost also. Jobs are really hard. The industry I was in the cooking industry. And jobs come and go. This season is really. I said, "Look, I'm not a lazy person. I'm not trying to avoid working." So then she looks on her monitor. She says, "Oh, okay, I see that. Yes, okay, I see that you were working 2 jobs and blah blah blah. Oh, okay. So we'll excuse you for working there because your panic attacks. And yes, okay, you're a veteran." But see, it was the illusion. The illusion initially because of my physical appearance, and I think also part of it is race. They don't seem to like black people in Hawaii, even though the state of Hawaii has mostly people of color, but they don't like blacks in general. Okay, So that was another component that I did face in Hawaii. But then getting back to, again, reality. See, we all, I'm learning now, we all affect each other, negative or positive way. And so my seeing about the beach bum in Hawaii and in Maui, um, now, if certain people lived on the street, like people that look like me, look like black people, for us to be out on the street, let's say if we just roller skate. I used to, it wasn't like an official membership, but it was like an open membership. I used to roller skate with these people. And we weren't looked on very highly. See, this group, most of us were black people, black Latinos, uh, West Indians, and you had just a sprinkle of white people. Uh, and it was fun at the time. And it was like a little social circle. But we weren't to just hibernate there, but it was something, primarily on the weekends. They're set up early in the morning, the area where we're to roller skate, and they have set up the music and all that. And from morning, daylight until close shop when the sun looks like it's going to set soon, and then people leave. But no one like lived on this, no one like lived there, and lived with the skates on and sleep there, whatever. And more restrictions were put on us. There was a point where, now this was something spontaneous, the roller skating, it was individuals who had a love for skating and they lived for the weekend to roller skate primarily because people had their 9 to 5 jobs primarily, and then on the weekends when they're off or who was off, the bulk of the people would congregate on Saturday and Sunday primarily, and people from all over the world would sit and watch us roller skate, and it was free to watch. No one went out to the only thing they did mind a panhandle money, like back then they used a boom box, and it was just batteries for the recorder, the tape recorder, and that was it. And that was it. It was about having fun, but you had outsiders from other parts of the world. I'm not going to say where, and then they would try to again leech off of us, and they had these little bikes, and they were able to do theatrics on the bicycles, and they were trying to get the people's attention away from the roller skaters who didn't ask for anything. They just loved it. But these other people were panhandling, to get money, to do what they're doing to get money. Okay, they didn't do it for a passion. And we did have some cycling, like unicycles, that might participate and be a part of the team. See, wheels are wheels. Whether it's a unibike or some people, did have a bicycle, and they just go around in a circle, and go with the skaters. Back then it was the old-fashioned roller skates, and then I think 8 years later they started uniblading. But still, it was a family thing. But the thing with those bicycles, who would congregate right next to these roller skaters, and to do theatrics, and it was designed to pull away and to get money. They couldn't do it on their own, and so and they couldn't. I mean, they couldn't do what they were doing by themselves to set up somewhere and do their thing. It was about leeching off of the skaters who did what they did for passion. Like you have the surfer. Regardless what the weather was, they wanted to be out there and surf. It wasn't about money. These people did not dress like money. They were, they were, present themselves in a modest way. Now, what if someone tried to market offer these surface and stuff? You know, they wouldn't, you wouldn't like it. So it was just something that I remember what happened. But still now. So you have a culture. Now, the roller skaters was a culture in itself, but it was frowned upon by mainstream society and frowned upon by the city of New York. And then they passed some type of new requirement that you cannot congregate as a group. I mean, these were just individuals, private citizens. They weren't part of any organization. These were just people who met. It was a social thing to meet other people of color, because again, in New York City, there's really no venue for blacks to meet and socialize. Outside of church, outside of that, there's no place. For whites, you have the bars, certain type of what do you call it, the cafes, the coffee houses, things like that. And it's not designed with black people in mind. Anyone could go to a coffee house now, but back then there was very limited things where blacks could safely meet together and just socialize outside, and it'd be free, and it's open to everybody. Anyone who wants to, your skate, regardless of your race, your orientation, gender, no, it didn't matter. You're all open, it's all one. You like to skate, boom, and it was free. That was being hampered. It was Giuliani, and he set a requirement that to you to congregate, you need to be a part of an association, a bona fide association, and it licensed or something like that with them, and then that you could only roller skate certain times of the year. And you know what years we weren't allowed to roller skate. Now these are people who roller skated every day of the year, whether it rained, whether it snowed, whether it was leaves. Every year, 12 months out of the year, people roller skated. I kid you not. So now, under his regime, Giuliani, he was the mayor of New York, and this is back in the 1980s. And he said you have to have an association. Now, a lot of these people, okay, these were Black Americans and blacks from the Caribbean. You have some South America, but primarily it's Afro-Latinos, Black Americans, West Indies, and you had some white people. But basically, it's a black group. And so a lot of them were people who had police records. Okay, so they couldn't just, this is what I was being told, they couldn't just go and get something. So they had to get somebody to that they knew that was had a clean record to help form it. And so it's someone outside of their race. But it did get formed, but everything changed after that. It was very rigid, became rigid, mechanical, and it just seemed more profit. You know, not now that you have an association, now you have to raise money for that association. So it's an artificial construct. So a natural system for people of color to meet and dance, dance to music and all that, which is a part of us, you know, music and song, now was being institutionalized to become an association that had to be registered with the city. So it affected our way of life. Now, what about the beach bum? Do they have to have an association to sit there, congregate? See, they have a whole beach. And, you know, in Hawaii, you have people who live on the beach, and this is how they live on the beach. So you're not supposed to loiter, so what you do, you get a fishing pole. They say, I'm out fishing. And you don't have to catch one damn fish. So you're creating an illusion again of being at the beach because you're fishing, and you have your tent, and they live on the beach in a tent, but they're not harassed. They're not harassed. Everybody knows what they're doing, but they're not harassed because they're white, primarily. But here, on the East Coast, okay, the East Coast of the United States. It's not the tropics, but it has its climate. But we're not given the same freedoms as our white counterpart. Okay, the whites do the surfing, and the black Latinos and all that, and the like, do the roller skating. Okay, and then now you have to legitimize it and form an association and permission to do that, and now you're no longer able to roller skate during the months of, I think it was, how did it go? It could have been from, I think November to like February, something like that. But it's the winter months. And guess what the city does during those months? They set up something for them, this shopping thing at one of the other parks. Yeah, this skating thing I was mentioning was in Central Park. But there was this other part, separate location, and they set up booths. Okay, it was like in the summer months, it's just grass where people can lie on. And then in the late fall and winter, the holiday season, they set up these booths, and vendors, the vendors pay for their spots there, and it's for commerce. This white system is about generating money. They don't know about that. They're not tapping into their soul. Some of them are not tapping into their soul about connecting from the heart, and not be money driven. So they're going to tell these blacks that you cannot roller skate without forming an association. And these are just individuals, just meeting, being happy, and at an open public park. Now they're saying when you can go out, what hours, and now what seasons. And then they set up the government sets up an area. So it's saying, we don't want you here. How I interpret it is that the people from all over the world would come and watch us roller skate. And some of us were on music videos. And people wrote stories in newspapers about us, positive. And so, see, this is bringing attention, but it's not generating money. So they want to squash that and have all those tourists for the holiday seasons to go relocate and go to the other park to buy things. Isn't that evil? It's soulless. And look what's happening now. People are forced to stay at home because of this C-19 and are getting stressed. Some people committed suicide. It's in bad shape. See, it's a soulless society. This New York City is becoming so soulless, full of violence and frustrations. And now getting back to the beach bum thing. So here you have two groups. You can think of the blacks back then in the 1980s and 90s as a roller skate bum, okay, versus the beach bum. One generally white, the other generally black. and there was no real commerce happening, paraphernalia. Uh, it wasn't there. But you go to the beach bum thing, you have the T-shirts, you have the stores that congregate that to cater to the needs that so they can maintain their surfboards, the shorts, the flip flops, and all that this thing, and it's a market, and their behaviors are reinforced, and so again the illusion. How do they maintain themselves? How just like this scientist who's windsurfing and being, as he calls himself, a beach bum initially, until he finds himself and find out what he's going to do. Black people don't have that luxury to say, I don't know what I really want to do. I just got my PhD, and I'm going to be a roller skate bum, or I'm going to be a cardboard box bum for a while until I find myself, and then see the difference? And it's this illusion that I want to focus on. How do they do it? How does the beach bum character maintain himself? And why is his activities reinforced and encouraged and marketed, while the skater bum is vilified and doing it for free, not bothering anyone? In fact, people came to watch us skate and make videos on us, music videos. Yeah, I remember that. One of the videos, oh, what's the name of that video? Uh, I think it's called Natalie Cole's Pink Cadillac. I think it's called Pink Cadillac, that one. And there was another one. Yeah. So, yeah, maybe I could check that one out on YouTube. Yeah, so you could just check that out too on YouTube if they have it on YouTube. It was by Natalie Cole. It was in the 1980s. Yeah, it was that one, I think. So yeah, we were becoming popular. So these are realities that exist to some people. The realities of how some people are able to just kind of live life free and uninhibited, and the resources to do the activities. To live in Hawaii cost a lot of money. A lot of money. To get the type of vehicles costs money. Not many of them get what they call a Maui cruiser. That's what you call a jalopy, an old beat up car. And it's just something just to get around. But they're not stigmatized to have it. You're not stigmatized. But be on the East Coast in the United States, like New York, you're stigmatized if you don't have money. You're stigmatized by the type of car you drive. And I'm a practical person. You get a car that can work, get you to A to B. But in some cultures, like what car you driving, especially like if you're from California, especially, you are who you drive, what car you drive. You're judged, just like I was judged when I lived there in Maui, and judged unfairly, even though I was looking for work and supporting myself. It's interesting. It's interesting how people, because of what you look like, or because of your race, judge you and call one acceptable and one not acceptable. So, yeah, the other thing I wanted to say before I go about the beach bum that I was initially going to say about beach bums. Yeah, I had used the term, it was at a job I was at in Maui. And I was talking to a girl. Now, the term beach bum, I was just using the term. I forget what exactly I said, but I used the term beach bum. And it turns out that the girl got offended. She said, "Oh, why are you making something about beach bum?" And I wasn't trying to be offensive. but it's a term that they use in Hawaii, you know, beach bum. It's common. And it's something that I think they even use amongst themselves, even like the scientists. She said, well, my boyfriend is a beach bum, and he's a doctor, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what happened there was that, okay, and this is significant. You have people, rich people, who live in Maui. You have rich people. They're richer from the mainland, U.S. mainland, and then they go to Hawaii, and they could what they call hang loose. You're a doctor, but you want to look cool, and you don't want to look like you have money. You want to look like a beach bum. And so this doctor dressed as a beach bum to surf and everything, but still be a doctor. You know what I'm saying? So it's like having uh, two identities. Make people think you're a beach bum, dress like a beach bum, but you be a physician. It's really something. You think in New York City, a doctor dressed like a bum on the street and then he goes to the job. No, it's about who's who in New York City. Who you are, where you live. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, back then when this was in the 1990s. And when I used the term beach bum in Hawaii, in Maui, to this person, I did not know that she had a boyfriend, and I didn't know that this, you know, that she was involved with a doctor or anything like that. And it wasn't to offend her. You know, she was a Filipino girl. Yeah, but she was nice, and she went through drama too. She went through drama. Yeah, she's from the Philippines, married an American sailor, and then it was a white guy, and then the white guy got influenced by these neo-Nazi group, and they convinced him that he should leave his Filipino wife. And so you know what he did? He threw her down a flight of stairs, I think hurting her, and ordered her out the house. And this was the same guy also. I know I'm getting a little bit off the track, but it's again a perception and how people perceive different groups. Now, they were husband and wife. He had married her when she was very young. They met when she was 15 years old. She worked in a bar. Her father owned the bar in the Philippines. He meets her. They marry. I don't know when they met, but they married when she was young. And he was having an affair. And she was, I get that he had a sexually transmitted disease. And his mother had to put the cream on his infected area with her, the wife. I think the wife also had to watch or put it on also. Isn't it something? So behavior. So it's not okay that she be a Filipino girl because now you're a neo-Nazi, but yet your wife was behind your side. Excuse me. But your wife is behind your side, by your side, I'm sorry, because you have sexually transmitted disease that you got from somebody else, not your wife. Okay? But you're going to throw out your wife and beat her up because now you're a white supremacist. So this is food for thought about things in reality, how we live or don't live, and how perception and lifestyle can affect your life. This is again just food for thought. I hope you enjoyed this. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Share this video with friends, family members, and if you wish to, you could donate to my channel at my PayPal Me link that you find on my channel on the banner on the right hand side of this banner on my channel, Spirit Journey channel. Just click on it the PayPal me link, follow the prompts, and any amount would be appreciated. I thank you all in advance. Peace and joy to you, and may you also come to states of awareness in your reality and realize it is all just um, fakeness, okay? But learn through the madness, okay? Peace and love to you all. Bye bye.